Charles Savage, Chief Executive of the Purple Group. Really good to see you back in South Africa, Charles. You've been traveling.
Yes, thanks, Alec. It's good to be back. I was away for 30 days.
That's a long time. I mean, I hope you came back with something very worthwhile with that kind of investment.
Yeah, it was. Look, I did 2 weeks in Australia and 2 weeks in Southeast Asia. It's a follow-up trip from a trip I did in April. I was out in Southeast Asia in April and specifically went there to close out a deal in the Southeast Asian region. We announced on Friday on SENS to say that we've partnered a e-wallet provider, which is a very exciting development for us. As you know, we've been out there trying to partner the business for over 2 years now, and COVID undid our efforts for a while. But since November last year, we've really been focusing on a specific region and a specific partner. And I'm glad to say that we've reached agreement with that partner, and we'll launch in late September, early October. And it gives us an opportunity to prove our capability beyond the borders of South Africa, which I think our shareholders want us to see. And I think people, interested parties outside of our current shareholding group also want to see whether we can prove our capability elsewhere. And specifically, what I love about the opportunity is the market setup. I mean, firstly, there's no competition or very little competition. Secondly, the average age in the region is 27 years old. They all have smartphones, and they all have extraordinarily low-cost access to data. So the access to the ecosystem is perfectly set up. And then finally, money moves freely through the economy. So it's very easy for you to consume financial services using your smartphone. And so we've partnered probably the best-in-class partner in that region to start with US stocks only into their customer base. But if that's successful, we'll be able to deliver our other products and services too.
Do they know US stocks there?
They do. I don't want to give away the partner, but they do. They do. There's a high affinity for US stocks in the region that we have partnered.
So, and the reason you don't want to give away the partner is that they're planning a launch and they don't want to spoil their marketing. If I read your SENS announcement correctly.
Exactly. We don't want to steal their thunder. I mean, they're as excited about this as we are. They don't want that excitement to kind of leak into the market. They want to kind of do a big bang marketing approach. So I'm going to be flying back. I think it's the 2nd of October is the current, dress rehearsal date for the big launch. And so I'm going to go back for the launch and, we'll announce it jointly together. It's really exciting, as I think you could have got a sense from the SENS announcement.
Well, and from the reaction of the share price, did that surprise you?
Look, I think any news in this market is an opportunity for some good news. I think there's so much bad news around us that I think a little bit of good news is enough to support a share price. I mean, I don't think that the news is priced in to the share price, frankly. I mean, I just think that when we announce who this partner is and the scale and aptitude that they have to help us scale this business, I think there's a lot more that will come from it. But let's be considerate of the fact that we're in a kind of recessionary environment. Globally, growth stocks are under a lot of pressure. We've come under our own pressure in terms of our share price. And so, for us, it doesn't really matter what the share price is today. It's what can this do for the share price over the next 3, 5, and 10 years. And that's the really exciting part.
And the big part of your offering here that is very appealing is the fractional option, where you can buy 10 Rand or 100 Rands worth of Amazon shares rather than having to pony up a lot of money for one single share. Is that part of the appeal to your partner?
Yeah, 100%. I think this was a competitive process. So we were up against another party who also had fractional shares, interestingly, because it's become the DNA of kind of every fintech now. But what we had, I guess, over the other party is we had a full stack solution. So everything from the platform capability to the back office and middle office, but then also a culture that marries their purpose. The two organizations, when you put them together, they just make sense. They're trying to achieve the same things that we are in an emerging market. And the competitor, is a first world built fintech with very limited experience of operating in an emerging market. So it was kind of in our sweet spot, and really proud that we pulled it off.
I'm trying to understand a little bit better. If you consider, for instance, Discovery, they've got a shared value concept, which they've now taken into the global market. So something invented here that they're leveraging into international markets with partners without actually having to make huge investments to get into Southeast Asia or America or Europe, wherever. Is it a similar kind of a strategy on your side?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, right up front, we said if we're going to democratize anything, you have to do it in partnership. I just don't think there's a brand big enough or powerful enough to be able to democratize anything. I think you'll own a good portion of the market, but you're not going to reach everywhere without the ability to partner. So we built the platform to partner. And as in South Africa, we've partnered so widely and broadly that we've kind of got access to 60% of all of South Africa now through all of the wonderful partnerships here. And so it was natural to go, well, can we do this elsewhere? And one of the kind of beautiful parts about plumbing for financial markets is that it's the same everywhere you go. Financial markets speak the same language. The technology stacks are very similar, and the requirements are almost identical. Whether you're buying shares from South Africa or from the US or the UK or Australia or anywhere in the world, everyone needs to be able to buy and sell. Everyone needs market order functionality and limit order. Everyone wants access to the US. So it's a very repeatable business model for us. And I think it's the technology in our armory that sets us apart, and that it allows us to take our products, as you've already noted, to other markets in a very cheap, low cost, low investment fashion. So for us, I'm heavily focused on delivering more partnerships like this. The run rate at which we can deliver them, it takes us about 6 to 9 months to negotiate and implement. I mean, these discussions started in November last year, and will be delivered by September. So we've got to see if we can increase the cadence of these partnerships and do 2 to 3 every single year. And the current market setup is playing into our hands in that there are going to be less fintechs around with less capital, given what's happened. And because we're scaled and we're profitable and our income statement therefore provides us capital, we've got the ability to go and partner while everyone, I guess, is battening down the hatches. So I actually think that the next 3 years presents the perfect opportunity for us to scale our business while everyone's kind of focusing on their home territories.
What got you into this partnership idea? Because many companies, as they grow, want to own. They want to dominate. They think they've got the right source and that they want to be the 100% owner of it. What went on in your heads at Purple Group to go this route?
Look, right from the start, we recognized we were never going to outmuscle the competition. If you think about who we compete with, they've got bigger brands, bigger balance sheets, and therefore they can outmarket us. But if we outpartnered them, then we could potentially win. And traditionally, large institutions, organizations don't make great partners. They're kind of gorillas. And so they like to control. And in our case, I think we make great partners. I think we listen and we're attentive to what our partner's strategy and requirements are. And we develop solutions that in the result are 1 + 1 = 22 and not 2. So, Discovery is a great example of that. And sadly, it's not live yet, but will be soon. You could imagine all of the partners that stood up and said we'd love to partner Discovery Bank. And they didn't choose us because of our brand or balance sheet. They chose us because we're committed partners that recognize their strategy and want to deploy it using our technology and learned experiences. And the same applies to Capitec and all of the partners that we've managed to pull off. So there's a dedicated kind of resource base at the group that is just following up on these partnership opportunities. And I think if you get on the plane and you meet people face to face, and it's easy to connect when you see that we've got a shared passion and a purpose to partner. And we don't pay it lip service. It's not something we say we do. It's something we demonstrably evidence in what we do.
How long will it take you to settle a partnership like this in Asia, far away from home, to actually settle it down? And how many of your team would you have to send over there?
Yeah, so if you've been following the announcements, you would have seen we hired a COO, global COO out of Malaysia. And so Rish has joined us, and so we've got a global COO in the region. We've sent over 5 of our staff that are already on the ground in the region. They got there a couple of weeks ago, and we've hired 2 or 3 staff already. By the end of the year, we'll have 30 staff in the region. And essentially it provides a swivel chair for us to run a 24-hour operation between these two regions. I mean, for now, we run everything out of South Africa, but that time shift from about 8 o'clock at night to 8 o'clock in the morning, it's not a productive time to have people working. Our staff have thankfully done it for a long time now, but it doesn't work. You attract the wrong skills for people who don't want to sleep and work at those times. So this presents us with an opportunity to create two operating capabilities, one in Southeast Asia and one here, and to attack the world from those two centers.
And you really mean that, attack the world?
Yeah, Alec, it's I said it a few times. I feel like we've won the Currie Cup 8 years in a row. And at some point, you've got to get on a plane and see if you can win the World Cup. And I for so many South African businesses, and certainly I've grown up with kind of the commentary that South Africans can't do business internationally. And the truth doesn't bear those facts out. Just take Discovery. We were talking about them. What an incredible international business they've created, and many other South Africans that are standing on the world stage. And the one thing that we've learned from two experiences, one is Almira and I did 21 fintech shows pre-COVID. We won 17 of them globally. And so that gave us the confidence to say, well, we're as good as everyone else in the rest of the world. And the second one is that a lot of international capital providers have looked at us recently, looked at our shares and investing in the business. And consistently, their only criticism of us has been, why are you only in South Africa? There is nothing that we see from the way you've built the products and service that you've built that means that you should be only focused on your home kind of territory. And so those two things and COVID clearing, I guess, has given us the ability to put ourselves on a plane and see if we can go win the World Cup. And frankly, if we didn't do that, I think there'd be little left for me to do in the Purple Group. There are not many partnerships that I can forge that we haven't already partnered. The products and services that we're going to build over the next 10 years are laid down for us, and the team are extraordinarily capable of continuing to grow the South African business. So for me, this is what, CEO, it's my job to go and see if we can, put down some partnerships in other territories and emerge as the world's best investment platform, not just South Africa's.
Well, I'm sure you're going to have a lot of people clapping and cheering when you have your second keynote at the BizNews conference, which is just over a week's time. Because after the first keynote, I know of a number of people who were excited as excited as you were and went out and bought your shares, and they've more than doubled since then. Is there going to be a different message this time around?
Yeah, I think I think what people need to understand is how we scale the business this time around, and I'll give some real deep insights into how we think about the business and what its inherent growth rate is without, if you like, in an ex-growth environment, but then to focus on the products and services that are coming soon and the partnerships that are coming soon, and really give them the confidence that, whilst the share price will fluctuate over the next 12, 18 months, and in a recessionary environment, small caps like ours will always get depressed the most. The key is that the vision continues, and in fact, it's accelerating under these conditions. And so hopefully convince them to stay the course and be as excited about the business as I am, because I'm not going anywhere.
Well, I'm delighted that you're actually coming back to the Berg, because last time you traveled there, your car didn't have a very happy journey. How many blowouts did you have?
I had 2 on the crazy. Is there not? There are no helicopters. Can I not fly in? Have you not got a helicopter? Have none of your guests flying in?
There are, in fact, but not in helicopters. They come in. There's a little airfield nearby, but I guess then you need a private license. But I think they've done a little bit of work on the potholes, and we have got a better route. So hopefully this time around you'll be pothole free. Although I guess you probably would be better advised not to be. Do you drive a Mini Cooper?
I'll bring my wife's 4x4. I'm excited about your lineup this time as well. It looks like a great lineup, and I remember the wine being particularly good last year as well, the year before. So I'm excited about the lineup and the wine.
Well, we're excited to be seeing you, Charles, and thanks for coming back home in time for the BizNews conference. Charles Savage is the CEO of the Purple Group, and I'm Alec Hogg from BizNews.com.